Hello and welcome to a new series that I'll be starting where I will be reviewing a demo that I receive once a week. This will be ranging from all skill levels and match types, from matchmaking to cups and leagues. Hopefully at some point I'll get some team demos rather than always a single player as well. The idea of this series is not for me to sit here and criticise the player in the clips. I'm not a pro player at CS, neither am I the smartest player with the most experience. It is only for educational purposes, and what I hope to achieve with it is by you watching this that it will be beneficial and hopefully make you think more about your gameplay. Maybe I will explain something in these videos that you can then add to your own game or change something that I've pointed out that could be improved upon. So the first player for this series is Double McRitchie. This is a matchmaking game and he is ranked Master Guardian 2. Obviously the map is Inferno and we will be starting on the pistol round. So speeding this clip up, he pushes towards Banana and sees a player. He does lose the aim duel and gets dinked in the head. If he did pick up that frag, then of course it's great, but it's also a very risky play and could have been better if it was just played passive. There's no real reason to be pushing the car, especially alone, because assuming your players at mid have called the T's are pushing around second mid, so this guy here is now rotating through CT. If these terrorist players were just a little further back and Richie died at the car, it basically opens up the opportunity for the T's just to turn around and rush through B through Banana, which is very common in Inferno as it is known for its constant rotations through middle. Honestly, this isn't actually a huge mistake. I just want to try and make people aware that rotating too fast can create lost rounds. His team may have called that they're pushing mid or A rush, which is maybe the reason why he peaked Banana so aggressively, but if you look where the CTs are at this point, they have literally no information at all where the T's are, and if they're committing 100% towards the A site. So really you just need to be aware that it's common for these so-called rushes just to be fakes to get you to move out of position and rotate early to get picked off. Ultimately it doesn't actually matter because his team lost A anyway, and obviously with his low HP it's pretty much impossible for him to win the round. Anyway, another quick thing that I picked up on here, which is quite important, and a lot of people have this issue, is crosshair placement before peeking corners. This is obviously an extreme example and didn't actually cause any harm, but if it was a banana rush on the T's, he's obviously dead straight away. It happened a few times, but this is another example from the same position. This is also later into the round, so a player could easily be closer or on logs at this point. So that's just another thing to be aware of and what I wanted to point out, although it might happen again in some of these clips, I won't mention it again. One of the things he said to me when sending the demo was the poor CT side of the team. Obviously it's not a one-man problem, but for him, one of the main things I picked up on was the constant waste of smokes and molotovs. When playing B, it's basically just a time wasting game. You should be throwing at least 2 smokes to stop T's pushing, at best 3 if the player at Arch is willing to help you out. Each smoke grenade lasting around 15 seconds before it starts fading out. So firstly, there's no real reason to throw a smoke here unless you're both planning to play an aggressive angle and then re-smoke it. It would have been better just to fall back to the site with the AWP and then save it for later in the round so as much time could be wasted as possible before throwing them. The same with the Molotov, it doesn't actually get any use at all because it disintegrates in the smoke. It's a wasted $600 and when you're already low on money, it's never good. Going back to it, like it is obviously slowing them down. As you can see on the map, there is a player or two there playing around that area and they're not pushing through the smoke. Another strategy, rather than falling back to the site, could have also been that since there is an AWP player on B, instead of smoking so early, he could be peeking the corner angle and he might pick up a kill. If he doesn't, or he gets flashed and falls back and you feel that a push is imminent, then a smoke would be good. Another quick example of being caught out with smoke, it's lucky it's only one guy with a Tech 9, otherwise this could have been very different. And I'm not even sure what this one is at all, especially this position as well. Also, due to this smoke, it cost the loss of the B site as well, as the T's pushed and it could have been smoked so the other guy didn't die. And then of course he wouldn't have died as well when they pushed. But generally this part here, this position isn't very good at all if you're planning to take on multiple enemies rushing the site, unless you've got 100% aim of course. Probably best just to play new box or maybe even second and wait until they push into the site and surprise them. Also this position, no. If they fully rush B and multiple flash over, you're so dead. It's over for you. This clip illustrates quite an important point. He gets a nice kill here and the AWP at B also picks up a kill, but for some reason he instantly rotates towards B thinking it's a B push. If you haven't seen the bomb, then you just can't do that. You need to have one person on both sides. In this type of situation, ideally it would have been best to stay around the arch area where you would have been able to hear the player pushing through Banana if he made noise, and also you could hear the A bomb plant. Positioning yourself correctly in a round like this is really important because you need to try and have as much map control as possible just to get information on what the terrorist player is doing. Even though the guy plants A gets money for his team, they do eventually win the round. On the terrorist side, I noticed that Richie likes to play this position here looking into the window as he does for many of the terrorist rounds, although the problem here is that unless they actually peek the window or balcony, which is usually done by an AWP player anyway, and the chances are that you'll probably die, you can't actually gather any information from this spot as you can't even see them cross over boiler to that push apps. As shown here, I have a friend constantly running past the window, which you can easily spot from normal positions such as these. It's easy to gather information and make the call to your team, but moving back down here you can't see them crossing properly. I want to talk about these clips solely because, as I said earlier, Richie asked about his CT side. He also mentioned to me that 4 of his team were pre-made, so this is more beneficial for that area. It's often a basic strategy that on eco rounds you push 5 down banana. What I want to mention here is that I feel it would have been more beneficial if instead you sent 4 down banana and had 1 player lurk around the A apps or top mid, as the obvious strategy for a terrorist side when knowing it's a B push is just to move towards A. After this eco round, the next eco round was exactly the same, pushing 5 down banana. Although the team got 2 kills, eventually the outcome was inevitable and the terrorists plied A and won. Also, since you should be following the enemy's money to know when they have to eco, meaning on their eco rounds you should always be throwing a few grenades up banana, which would have stopped both Richie's team and the enemy team on their eco pushes. Conveniently, after I recorded about Richie's team on their eco pushes and playing 1 guy on A apps, the enemy team did exactly that and executed it perfectly. They have 4 players pushing down banana, taking control, while 1 player lurks around the apps. He does pick up a kill, and although he dies, he now has the information about where the T players are, meaning that the CTs can now play accordingly, and they basically just pincer them and win the round. That's all I'm going to be going over in this video. Richie's team did win the game 16-14 with a good T half, with both sides struggling on CT side, which is actually usually the case in matchmaking, as a map like Inferno does require good teamwork and communication. I am hoping to do one of these types of videos every week. Also, some feedback in the comments would be helpful about what you would like to see and if you think there could be any structural improvements to the video. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Goodbye.